Know what it is, man. Touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable, shake the unshakable. It's Rise Up, baby. World Class Wednesdays. Y'all know what it is. Wednesday nights right here. Shout out to everybody tuned in. What's up? What's up? You know, this is where sports talk meets the alphas, and the alphas meet the elites, and then the elites meet the fire starters, and you put it together, you mix it up. Nice little biology class worth of sports talk for the next hour or two. Man, I'm Andre the Torch Robinson, the fire starter, and you got Marcus the Alphabets, Mr. Friday Night Lights itself, Mr. Coffee Talk itself, with me on the ones and twos, man. We got some great stuff to talk about today. Obviously, like and share the show. Make sure you get a plus one, get your drink, snack, and all that good stuff. We on YouTube, Facebook, the whole 9 yards, and man, just lock in, lock in. Marcus will tell you to sit your ass down, sit your ass down. Mark, I'm gonna tell you to lock in, buckle up, for this phenomenal sports talk that you about to get right here. Marcus, what's good? What's good, bro?
What's goody, man?
What's good, family?
Happy, happy first week of July. You know, look, man, we are 3 weeks away from the start of NFL training camp. Look, it's this sports thing is nonstop. We got World Cup stuff going on. So sorry about the U.S. men's national team. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Uh, we just had we had the NBA finals going on. We had the Stanley Cup finals a few weeks back, and now we're about to, we're in the middle of baseball season now, and in the next 3 weeks, 3 weeks, Torch, 3 weeks, NFL training camp starts. Now it's just so crazy because it's a nonstop cycle. Uh, just a couple of months ago, my lovely co-host, uh, my guy William Richter, he was at the combine. He was at the combine. Mona was at the draft. Ethan Tweedy, shout out to Ethan Tweedy, the Chocolate Girl, Sharon Mullen. They were all at the draft. And here we are. Here we are, 3 weeks away from training camp. Uh, about four to 5 weeks away from the Hall of Fame game, where we actually have, the first preseason game going on. So, um, it's just nonstop. We're going to stay on top of it, and we just appreciate everybody, man. So excited about this upcoming football season. Just really excited about it. Really, really excited about it. A lot of stuff going on, a bunch of trades and stuff like that. Some trades in the NBA. We saw Jason Jalen Brown getting moved. We saw Lamelo Ball get moved. So it's just it's nonstop moving and shaking, moving at the speed of business, man.
Absolutely. We'll talk about those trades in another show coming up because we first and foremost got to talk about Marcus brung up something. Marcus, you know what, Marcus? I'm gonna need you to stop dropping little jewels you drop on shows too. You do this once a show. I say this all the time. Preface it. You do this once a show, at least once a show, where you usually get to acting up. Today you're doing it and dropping little jewels and sprinkling little hints here that some folks may need a mystery van to figure out what the hell you're talking about. But we're gonna put you on game. Let's go. Marcus. Marcus. Listen, sir.
I
I was
sent this to
always
you
thought
earlier.
I was listen, I know you sent this to me earlier. The brother been busy lately. I ain't gonna hold you. Um, I was always taught that sometimes you look better off quiet. Sometimes you just look better off not saying anything. Sometimes even the best of people need to go away sometimes. Just sometimes. Sometimes you gotta go away. So if you are one of the worst of folks, you definitely should go away, especially when you interject yourself in stuff that don't have nothing to do with you. Nobody wants your hey, nobody come to see you, Otis. Ain't nobody come to see you. Stay out the way. Stay out the way. You know what I mean? And this is this is the exact exemplification and personification of stay the hell away. Please stay the hell away. So we got right here the kiss of sports death, and obviously it pertains to and involves your current, unfortunate for some, because there's a lot of simps, president. What in the world? Marcus the Alphabet. Every time he interjects himself, he brings bad karma and juju to the exact team he is either talking about or interjecting himself to. Now, Marcus, go ahead and tell folks how you viewed this off the air before we started. How you saw this. He is like the person that what? Say this. Please let them know. I need you to tell them.
He is the person that doesn't get an invitation to a party and just pops up. And he's like, hey, hey, I didn't get what y'all having a party? I didn't get no invite. Yes, we know. We didn't invite you. But because of his, the position he holds as the commander in chief and the leader of the free world, he gets to go to these things, UFC. But it just seems. And now look, there are some people that are superstitious out there. They believe in curses and hexes and stuff like that. I don't know. We heard of the Madden curse. There are some people. There are actually people out there that believe that if you're on the cover of a Madden video game, that something bad's going to happen to you. There are some people that actually do believe that. And look, if that's what you believe, I don't know if I believe all of that, but we keep seeing this. We keep seeing this with him. It just keeps happening. And I didn't like the optics of this whole thing with the World Cup. It was terrible optics. It was terrible. And look, I get being patriotic and wanting the United States to win and whatnot, but you did some underhanded stuff there. And y'all hear me say this all the time, Torch. And when I say it, some of the guys, they get upset. The football gods giveth, and the football gods taketh away. Small g gods, okay? Small g gods. The football gods giveth, and the football gods take it. That means, good stuff happens for you, and there's also bad stuff that happens. And it's just you just got to roll with the punches. Now, I want y'all. I want to know what would happen, Torch, if if a player from the Belgium national team got a red card and was not supposed to play against the United States. It's their best player, okay? It's their best player. And he got a red card. He wasn't supposed to play against the United States. And the president of Belgium called the president of FIFA and said, I want you to let this guy play. I want you to ignore the red card and I want you to let him play. The people in the United States would go nuts. They would go nuts. They would be like, what the hell kind of tomfoolery is this? This guy's supposed to be suspended and not supposed to play. And they just totally dismiss it and let this guy play. What would be the narrative? It was a lose-lose situation anyway, because if we had won the game, if we had won that World Cup game, the Belgian people would have been furious. They would have been furious because they're like, this guy, and especially if the guy who didn't get to play, the guy who got to play was like a X factor in the game. He had like 3 goals. Okay, he had a hat trick. They'd be like, what the hell? But instead, we still lose. And then, Torch, you know what's even worse? The Belgium team, I don't know if you saw that, they're doing the Donald Trump dance, mocking the United States. Oh, we're so respected around the world. It was embarrassing. It was really embarrassing. We just saw this. I know you're a Knicks fan. We just saw it, with the Knicks game, what he did at the Knicks game. He's just, You heard me use the analogy about the guy or the person not invited to a party. I got an even better one for you, and I want this annotated. He, you ever seen a Bronx Tale? You ever seen the movie The Bronx Tale? Eddie Mush, the guy that they remember they were rolling dice and they were like, he's like bad luck. And remember they were rolling dice and they made him go in the bathroom. They were like, don't touch the dice. Don't don't touch the dice. Do not touch. And he's like, don't touch the dice. Don't touch it. He would go to the track. He would lose money. Like anything this guy touched, it just turned to. They called that was his nickname in the movie, Eddie Mush. That's what they called him. And they'd be rolling dice and they make him go. That's this dude. Like anytime he touches some stuff, dude, it just turns to mush. It turns to mush. And you have these people that's just like, he's a great guy. When it at least we talk sports here. We're not going to go into the policies and things or whatnot like that. We'll stick to just sports because we are a sports show. This ain't coffee talk where we talk a little bit of football and a little bit of life. But just on the sports front, this dude is Eddie Mush. He's Eddie Mush, George. That's what he is. And we keep seeing it. It's like, one thing happens. Okay. You have the slide right here. The college football national championship, the Super Bowl, the NBA championship, one of the games in New York, and then the World Cup. This dude is at the real life Eddie Mush. That's what he is, man. And we just got to call it out.
Another name for you. Danhausen. He is WWE's version of Danhausen. First and foremost, Marcus the Alphabet. Let's keep it a brick. I could give this man pure crystal and his optics would still come out opaque. Okay, that's just standards. I could annotate that. I could literally give him pure crystal and his optics would still come out opaque somehow. I don't know how you do that, but he would be able to make that possible. This dude just keeps interjecting himself and stuff that just don't have nothing. Sit your ass down somewhere. New York did not want you, sir. Nobody wanted you around. Okay. I mean, the U.S. team, what he did was just absolute buffoonery, to be honest with you, to undermine somebody that is in authority to make those calls, red card calls, and you undermine by going to FIFA, the president,
the FIFA president of FIFA, and I hold him somewhat responsible. I hold him somewhat responsible because I would have hung the phone up on his face. I would have hung the phone up in his face.
Too, Marcus, is because a lot of those games was played in America. But I don't give a damn if it was played in Zimbabwe, or I don't care. I don't give a damn, sir. He made the call, and it was the right call too, to be honest. And you went and reversed it like a moron, and they allowed your moron ass to reverse it. And you have nothing to do with soccer. And that's why they got their asses handed to them. By the way, Belgium
4-1.
First of all, your goal. Did you see how the netminder gave up a turnover that cost them a goal? That you've seen stuff in that game that just doesn't normally happen in soccer, folks. And that is because guess what I call it? I call it straight divine intervention. Good job, sir. Your best player had no impact on no impact on the game whatsoever.
All that scheming, all that scheming and angling and
you got your ass whipped, point blank, period. Now, it was nice, by the way, for folks who don't know, I got to meet a guy from Belgium who was watching the game while I was on post, watching the game, and we showed mad respect. He had a hell of a lot of respect for the game, for the culture, and I felt like this is what it's supposed to be. when it comes to those interpersonal sports relationships or just in general. Now, we talk sports here. I don't want to talk politics or life because this ain't coffee talk. But but that's how it should be. And they out there doing the Donald Trump dance, just mocking this man. That's what he get. That's what. Ain't y'all tired of this man making y'all look like a fool? I'm just wondering. Ain't y'all tired of this man making us look
It's
like a
so it
fool?
was so embarrassing. It's so, like they were mocking the United States,
I
and
know.
that's his
It's
big thing.
crazy.
Oh, we've never been more respected. No, dude, like people like are laughing at us. They're laughing at us. You're falling asleep in meetings. You're at NATO today. You're falling asleep in front of all the world leaders and stuff. They're talking behind your back and laughing at you. And the Belgian national team, after they beat the brakes off the United States. And look, of course, I was rooting for United States. I was rooting for Mexico. I live right next door to to Juarez. I live like 5 minutes away from Juarez. Okay, so it's a large Mexican population here. So look, I'm not a big soccer fan, but on certain occasions, I'm not as I don't do as much sports as my guy here, Torch here. This guy does college basketball, and he does hockey and all of that good stuff. I saw this picture, and it's great. And the thing about it, Torch, sports brings us all. Is one of the things there is it brings us all together. But with that little stunt that he pulled, that's one of the reasons why people hate Americans. Why they hate I don't know how many other countries you've ever been to, but that's the view of a lot of people about the United States is the Americans. They're rude and they're violent and they're ignorant and they're cheaters. And this guy has set this country back. He has set this country back decades, where the perception of American exceptionalism, American, the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we're blowing up girls' schools and stuff like that. And our president out here is calling the FIFA people. The one place in society, brother. One of the reasons that we love sports, and this is the Rise Up Sports Network, and we come together here in a forum to discuss sports. And one of the things that we love about sports, Torch, is it's a meritocracy. It's a merit. It's the one place, as compared to the rest of society, where you have a lot of favoritism and racism and sexism and all kind of other isms. We're the one place where it's like my best versus your best, or you get two boxers, in individual sports or tennis or whatnot, where it's an individual sport, and you're going mano y mano, me versus you. You get a referee, an official, an official in the middle that calls it down the line, makes it fair and balanced calls, and you even mess that up. In the one place where we have a little bit of refuge, man, where we have a little bit of refuge, where things are supposed to be fair. You already got we already got the home field advantage. We're playing the game in the United States, and you still, even with that, are using your position to get favoritism. And I'm an American, and I was embarrassed for that, for him making it where this guy could play. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible,
Smacked him right in the
terrible
mouth
look.
too. Smacked
Terrible
him
look,
right
man.
back in the mouth too.
Very disappointing, man. Very disappointing.
Smacked him right back in the mouth too. I mean, I would get tired if I get smacked once. I'm highly pissed off. If you smack me, I'm ready to kill you. So just imagine keep constantly getting smacked. Like you ain't learned your lesson yet. Like again, some people never cease to amaze me. I tell you. What's the saying? Know what people are and who they gonna be, and then it's your duty to see them well too. When
With
you know who they are, it's your duty to see
Maya
them well. And
Angelou,
if you don't,
Maya
that's
Angelou.
your fault. That's your
When
fault.
people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And this here is just a constant. It's a constant pattern with this guy. A constant pattern where he just is always got his hands up in the mix, doing stuff that he ain't supposed to be doing. And it's embarrassing, bro.
Entitlement.
It's really embarrassing, really embarrassing. But uh, you know, we still look, and this isn't hating the United States. Look, I was up there, I was cheering. I think everybody was rocking the red, white, and blue. But that there, it just put like a blemish on the whole thing because it's like this is sports. It's supposed to be fair. It's supposed to be equal. It's supposed to be uh, where we get away from the politics, where we get away from the favoritism, where we get away from the underhanded, back dealing and stuff like that. So it's just very disappointing. But overall, proud of the American, the U.S. men's national team. I still think that the women's game is a little bit more advanced. Uh, no, he's not a Dallas fan. I think he's a I think he's a I think he's a Bills fan. I think he tried to buy the Buffalo Bills, didn't he? Donald Trump tried to buy the
Trump,
Buffalo Bills,
yeah, Trump put in bids to buy the Buffalo Bills.
and they just didn't want him in. I think he's taking his ire out because of that.
Look,
To try to,
hey, entitlement only went so far,
yeah,
and that certain good old boys club
yeah.
of elitists.
Look, it's a bunch of them, and
Oh,
they didn't want you they didn't want you part of that
they
club.
wanted him in no parts. Trust and
No,
believe me when I
so
tell you.
who was the guy who had to get
So
rid
wait a
of
minute.
the?
So wait a minute. So Marcus, you know what? Let's drop a jewel. This is World Class Wednesday. We could drop jewels, right? So for those who want to know what I mean by what I'm saying, I'll tell you what I'm saying. For those who don't know football analytics when it comes to bidding for teams and buying teams, I'll explain it. When you get a bid, right? You bid for a team. Your bid is supposed to be silent. Nobody else is supposed to know your bid. Well, I can tell you, damn near wholeheartedly, they knew his bid. Damn wholeheartedly, they knew his bid. Let me explain if you want to know. So remember Toronto, all that Toronto talk about Toronto getting it, Bon Jovi, yada yada yada. They didn't want that. Bon Jovi in that group. Mm-mm. Uh, Toronto, even though Toronto can sell every ticket for free because they have Forbes 500 listed sponsorship that would buy every ticket and give it away for free. They didn't want that. Donald Trump put in his bid, which was bigger than Toronto's bid.
Nope. Nope.
Pagula turned right around, put in his bid. Now, when you bid twice. It's not just one time bid. It's twice because obviously you're trying to exceed the money capital for a team. So you bid twice. They bid again. Toronto, same thing. Bid. Trump outbidded them. And then Pagula put the bid in 1.5 billion. Do y'all even know what the market asking price for the Bills originally was? It was 850 million, which means Pagula damn near paid twice as much for a team that he could have got for probably 1.1 because Donald Trump's bid was 1.1. Now, if you don't believe that, go look it up. All you got to do is research. Research will tell you. Pagula made sure he outbidded him to the point where he would never be able to bid past that, and that's what happened.
And the thing about it is,
they didn't want him.
These franchises, they don't generally come available very often.
No,
because they're basically family businesses. When you think of certain teams, you think of family names: the Fords, the Joneses, the Krafts. You know what I'm saying? The Bidwells, so these and they pass these franchises down to their heirs. People talk about getting rid of Jerry Jones. As soon as Jerry goes away, you still Steven, and then Steven will pass it to his son. So it's not like they don't get rid of stuff like that in any of these sports franchises. Jerry Buss, Dr. Buss, he passes down the Genie Buss. They're not. It just doesn't come open. So when a franchise does come open, a lot of people, they jump on it, and they were just like, you will not own this team. You just won't. The Waltons with the Broncos.
Remember, he messed up the New York. Remember, Donald Trump messed up the New York Generals team
for USFL. Yeah.
In the USFL, they wanted no parts. The NFL said, "You're not bringing that buffoonery here."
So long story short, if you're trying to win something, don't let Eddie Mush put his ass in the bathroom.
Mr. Danhausen. Mr. Danhausen.
Put him in the bath, and don't let him touch the dice. Don't let him touch the dice.
Are cursed.
Pretty much.
Don't let him around.
Period.
Yeah, very interesting to say the least, though. Very interesting. This guy, I'm telling you now, I have a stopwatch waiting and ready, counting down his time. Literally counting down his time. Speaking of which, talking about buffoonery, we're going to stay on the subject of buffoons in sports tonight. By the way, if you just tuning in, you are watching World Class Wednesdays with your boy Andre the Torch Robinson, the Firestarter, and Marcus the Alphabet. We just got finished talking about the kiss of sports death in this guy who is your commander-in-chief currently. Yes, we talk about it. We talk about the controversial topics here too. We ain't afraid to step on those topics, all right? So if you afraid, don't be afraid. We don't want you to be afraid. We want you to be able to speak out. Put your comments in the comment section. We love those. Always love those, and appreciate you for tuning in to us. Speaking of tuning in, Marcus, you mentioned it outside of the show, before the show started. I'm kind of getting tired of tuning into this guy too. And this guy is starting to really ruffle feathers. And we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to play the clip too, because you shared it with me this week, and I'm going to play it right here, right now. All right.
Stephen A., this that you said last week sounded pretty racist.
Your 3 top players are white dudes? Really? This ain't golf. This ain't baseball. Hell, it ain't even soccer. Somebody got to say it, so I'm saying it. This is basketball. I'm not complaining. I'm simply making the point. The Los Angeles Lakers, you ain't going anywhere being led by 3 white dudes in today's generation of basketball. I'm letting you know right now, it ain't happening.
What I would say to you is this, and I'd love to hear your response. A, you're wrong. Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic,
You
Cooper
telling
Flag.
me I'm wrong about a basketball take. Yeah. That's funny,
Yeah.
but go ahead. Go ahead. That's really funny, but go ahead.
It's funny and correct at the same time.
Go ahead.
We can name the 3 of the best players in the NBA right now that are white, and if they led the Los Angeles Lakers, that would prove your proposition false. That's number one. Number 2, if we reversed it, and more importantly, if we reversed it, and I know you, Stephen A., if I came out and said anywhere, any place, anytime that a black quarterback couldn't win the Super Bowl, I'd be wrong. And you would also say, Will, that is racist. You wouldn't accuse me of being a racist, but you would say that statement is racist. Sure. And I can say the same to you now when it comes to basketball.
Well, first of all, you can. I'm not backing up from what I said one bit, not even a syllable. I'm going to repeat it again. A trio of white players in the NBA has never led a team to a championship. The top 3 players on a basketball team being white.
Stephen A., this that you said last week sounded pretty racist.
Your 3 top players are white dudes? Really?
It's like he goes out of his way to say stuff. And look, I used to be a fan of Stephen A. Smith, but as time has gone on and just listening to him talk and some of his outrageous, just cartoonish takes when it comes to stuff, it's really getting kind of old. And he does not speak for me. Stephen A. Smith does not speak for me. You know, some of the things that he said, attacking certain people, you know, attacking a Kerry Champion, attacking, you know, a Michelle Obama. It's just some of his takes on certain stuff. It's old. And look, I don't like Will Kane. He works for Fox News. I don't really like him. He said a lot of stuff. But what he said, look, we have to call out foolishness wherever it's at. We can't just say, you know, when one person does something bad and we want to attack them, and then when somebody who may look like us says something and we don't call it out. We have to call out foolishness wherever, whenever, whoever. Okay? And what Will Kane said was correct. If some white reporter said a team with a black quarterback will can't win a Super Bowl, these are all of the type of stereotypes that we as black people had to overcome. A lot of the stuff we had to overcome. I remember, you remember Hank Aaron, breaking Babe Ruth's home run record. There ain't no black man ever going to break the home run record. And we saw the movie 42. Rest in peace to Black Panther. I can't even think of his name. The part he played there, it was just so Jackie Robinson. The first black. Black people couldn't even used to play in the Major League Baseball. We had to have our own league, the Negro Leagues. Okay. And all of the stuff that, look, I live in El Paso. We talked about this a little bit off the air. The first college basketball team with a all black starting five, Texas Western, which is known as UTEP, where I live in El Paso, Texas. Okay, that movie Glory Road, that's a true story. All right, Don Haskins, and you go on a show. Doug Williams. Hey, no black man will ever win the Super Bowl. No black quarterback will ever win the Super Bowl. And we saw the racism that came along. Baseball again, Jackie Robinson and Hank Aaron and Doug Williams and Warren Moon. Warren Moon. You're gonna switch positions. You're gonna switch. This guy's a All-American type quarterback in college, and they're telling him, we want you to play free safety. So he had to go to the CFL to go play. So for Stephen A. to say something like that when a lot of the stuff that black people have had to deal with, and this is why a lot of times when white people attack us back, this is what the stuff that we have to deal with because of a buffoon like him. And then he doubles. Sometimes it's okay. You say something, you're kind of like, Torch, we've been doing enough shows. Me and you've been doing enough shows. You longer than me. Where you say something, you're like, I probably could have. I might not have should have said that. I might have been able to communicate that a little bit better. But he doubles down. I ain't backing down. I ain't backing. I said what I said, and it makes us look bad. It's a terrible take. There are some really good white basketball, and I understand the NBA is probably like 80% black. But look, there are some good white players out there. I can think of some of the white players that we've seen. Didn't the Utah Jazz go to the NBA championship against the Chicago Bulls? Didn't they have John Stockton and Jeff Hornacek and Danny Ainge and Greg Ostertag? Didn't they have that there? So it's a terrible take. And what's even worse about it, Torch, is that he doubled down on it. He doubled down. So I want to know your take on it. What's your take on it, Torch?
I am in total agreement with a couple things, but not everything. I am in agreement with the fact that Stephen A. disseminating shit that doesn't need to be disseminated does not speak for the Black culture, does not speak for me, does not speak for you, does not speak for Black journalists, sports journalists across the world. He does not speak for us. That's number one. Number two, and here's number two. You guys will not like what I have to say next. Stephen A. Smith was trying to save face when he made that comment. Let me add context, because you touched on it a teeny bit, but I was hoping that you really was gonna push it. You started to a little bit, and then I was like, damn, he let off the hook. He got off the hook. First and foremost, number one, Stephen, you let him off the hook. You should have kept going. Marcus the Alphabet. You are the whoa. Marcus the Alphabet. You are the can man, and I am the fire starter, which means we don't let shit go awry at all. You don't have one time to play in my face before we get at you. Okay? Stephen A. Smith said that to save face, and here's why. Number one, Stephen A. Smith is known. First of all, he works for white people. I keep telling y'all about corporate corrupt media. I've been telling y'all this for 2 years running. Marcus, I told you that is going to be a bigger part of my sports journalism career, talking and exposing that type of stuff. I told you this, right? He has been known for supporting white people, yet trashing Black women. Let's be clear. That's for starters. Okay, trashing Black women and supporting white folks. He's been known for it. That's why some people call him a raccoon. Yes, I'll be point blank. I'm not holding no punches. They call him a raccoon. Okay. So this is his whole mirage. A lot of people have that thought about him. This ain't a Sprite can, but image is everything to some folks, right? Image is everything to some folks. And the image of Stephen A. Smith is that he does not primarily support his own the way that we feel that he should.
Especially with the platform that he has.
Exactly.
You're especially on ESPN, Mickey Mouse, Disney, ABC, ESPN.
Hey, Marcus, it gets worse though. It gets worse. And this is where I gotta put this in context. And hey, Dwayne, whoever, clip this. Ready? Clip what I'm about to say next. But Marcus the Alphabet, let's be very clear. It has been said about Black quarterbacks. You thought Will Cain just randomly made that up? His unthoughtful ass just all of a sudden came out of the blue sky and was so creative that he was like, well, if a white person said that a Black quarterback couldn't win the Super Bowl.
It has been. And guess what?
You know what?
I'm a little
You know why he was able to say that? You know why he was able to say that?
What was it?
Somebody already said it before.
Yeah.
That's why he used that as an example. Yeah. Now, here's the other part where people ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. Your dad or your mom ever tell you, just because what you say has truth in it doesn't mean that it's right? Well, guess what? What Stephen A. said has truth to it. It is truthful. That is true. There has never been, and this is true, there's never been a trio of white individuals who have led a basketball team to a championship. Is that true? Yes. Is it the right thing to say? Does it make it right to say? No, because there's some things that are true that just don't make it right to say. And that's where the problem is with this situation. Context matters. Let's make sure we put this in pure context for everybody tuning in and watching. What he said was not false. It was true. But saying that does not make him right. And I And anybody else who has picked up on Stephen A. Smith, who knows Stephen A. Smith, who has watched his tendencies. See, I'm right now currently, Marcus, me and Marcus was just talking about this before the show. I am literally reading a book right now called People Skills, and it helps you diagnose people's tendencies and how people are and how people act and how to expose that, not only expose that, but also be able to pick up on it and be able to work around it. Stephen A. Smith said that to save face because he knows that the general population that watches what he so-called covers looks like me and you. You just mentioned it earlier. It's the percentage of people who play basketball. What culture plays basketball, Marcus?
I would say probably the NBA is probably what, 75 to 80% black,
80%
probably.
black. College basketball is 80% black, Marcus. Yeah, pay attention. Wake up. Stephen A. Smith said that to save face. He is the type of guy who teeter-totters. You ever been on a seesaw? You ever been on one of those things? See, Stephen A. love horsing around on that carousel swing until horsing around gets him in trouble, right? This is one of those moments where Stephen A. Smith can get in trouble for horsing around because where you work, you get paid by those same white people. Stop trying to play one side of the fence when it is convenient for your dialogue or your diatribe, and playing the other side of the fence when it's convenient for your advancement as an individual. Hasn't Stephen A. been the one also trying to talk politics lately? You think he's getting away with talking politics in any... do you think Stephen A. Smith is getting away with talking politics in any room without aligning himself with somebody who is of this color? You think he's getting away? Okay. So again, like I said earlier, know somebody to be who they are, but in the same breath, know that you see them well. DMX said that best. Know what this is. This is him saving face. Okay, that's a saving face comment.
And to me, it's not a say. To me, it's a he. This is a guy who is a attention hog, a clickbait bandit, a guy who will do nearly anything. A guy who's they call themselves free thinkers or whatnot. Now, after the New York Knicks loss, where Trump was at, he spoke out on it, and as soon as he spoke out, and he said, he shouldn't have been there, and he messed up the mojo and whatnot. Trump called him low IQ and tell him he don't know what the hell he's talking about. He said that to him.
You know what I'm saying? Marcus, but that's the game, though.
And he'll never be president. And he called him low IQ. But you didn't have that same energy. You didn't have that same energy for Michelle. But when Michelle Obama said something or Kerry Champion said something, you got a lot to say. This man called you low IQ, and you had, I can debate him. No, I need that same energy that you have. I need that same energy that you have with everybody else that you jumping up and down about. But you got real quiet. So at this stage,
Marcus, I don't. No. See, and this is where now again, this is healthy kind of conversation and dialogue. This is where I say it's saving face. I don't, Marcus. That's the game. That is the game, sir. How many times have you ever seen? How many times have you ever seen opponents in a public eye pretend to be enemies yet sit on golf courses together? You think this is by design? This is a design. I don't believe in coincidence. I do not. Donald Trump and President Clinton didn't get along at all. Yet somehow there was reports that this man gave fellatio to damn Bill Clinton. How does that happen, Marcus? But yet they so supposed to be such enemies in the public eye. Come on, Marcus. This is by design. Stephen A know what the hell he doing, saying the stuff that he's saying. He got Donald Trump's attention. That puts him in a political eye. Donald Trump even responding to him puts him in a political eye. You know what really probably happens behind closed doors? Them two probably like, yep, and we did exactly what we do, because he who holds the narrative holds what? He who holds the narrative holds control of folks. Man, I'm not letting him buy with none of this. I'm not letting Stephen A. Smith sit up here and try to trick me into believing that all of a sudden now he wants to again. He's the same guy who went. Hold on, he's the same guy who went to a HBCU, ain't he? Didn't he go to Winston-Salem? This is the same guy, right? This is the same guy we took. Man, pay attention, folks. Pay attention. Know a chameleon when you see one. Okay? Know a chameleon when you see one. Chameleons change colors to fit in with their environment. Pay attention. When it's convenient, Stephen A. gonna turn black to get his black viewership. That's called saving face. He know that black people watch basketball more than anybody else. He know that. He know what the general consensus is when it comes down to his image as it pertains to black people. Pay attention. Come on now. No. Yeah, people do like doing things for content, Marcus, but guess what? This is deeper than that. This is deeper than that to me. All this is by design to me. He know what the hell he doing. Trump know what he doing, responding to him. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, and by the way, the Knicks still went to Trump's house, didn't they?
Well, not by
even
choice.
After all that, right?
Didn't they? Well, not by choice, because James Dolan told them to.
Oh, I don't give a damn.
Bronson, hey, that's your employer. He's like, you're going, then you're going.
Okay, so ask this. So, Marcus, this is the real question you should ask. What did James Dolan think about that take? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that one.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, James Dolan would be the middleman and all that, right? Being the owner of the Knicks.
No, he's not. But he's a
no.
He's not the middleman.
No, what I mean by that, no. What I mean by that is Stephen A. Smith made the comment saying Donald Trump was pretty much, bringing bad juju to the New York Knicks. He owns the Knicks, right? Yeah. And then Donald Trump came out and said, well, Stephen A., you sound like a buffoon, yada, yada, yada. My question is, hey, James Dolan, what side of this is you on, sir? You own the team.
He's on his boys' team. Because they're
he on his boys' team, and what boy is that?
He's on Trump. He's on Trump's team. Just like Dana White. Just like Dana White is. Just like Dana White, all the bad stuff that he did. He's like, this is my friend. I've been friends with him for 30 years, and I'm not changing for nothing. When he's got Dana White could stop a lot of stuff, but he sat up there while one of his fighters said that Michelle Obama's a man.
Dwayne, correct. Hold on, Dwayne, correct. There has been a trio of white people who've led a team to a championship, not in basketball. Not in basketball.
Well, not since. And by
the way,
not since it became integrated. Not since it did. Back in the day, correct. Back in the day,
we talk about the 1920s, right? The 1920s and teens. When we talk about that. I mean, that's okay. I get it.
Before integration,
Marcus, it's funny that you mentioned the Utah Jazz. Hilarious that you mentioned Jeff Hornacek and you mentioned John Stockton, who was the leader of that team. Oh, and by the way, what is our thought when we think of Karl Malone?
I'm saying they had three. Okay, if you want to say Karl Malone was the best player of that team, who was the second best player?
Oh, we know it's John Stockton. That's not
You know
even
what I'm
a
saying?
question.
There are some people that got John Stockton up there as one of the greatest point guards that's ever lived. Now, I don't know if I would put him over a guy like Magic Johnson, but John Stockton, I think, don't quote me on this, ain't he like the all-time assist leader?
Sir, John Stockton is not only the all-time leading assist, he's
And
also
steals?
the all-time. Yes.
Okay,
Sir,
so
there is hold on. Now, now you see how you just said, wait a minute now. Now you see how you just said that in a row, real smooth when you said bringing up Magic Johnson.
yeah.
I agree. Magic Johnson is the better point guard, but I do not fault anyone who would debate that either between John Stockton and Magic Johnson either.
Did not look the score. I mean, he would go score if he had to. He was always looking to
listen, John Stockton was that boy. Let's stop this now.
That Utah Jazz team, I want to say 90. Hell, they played the Bulls twice in the finals in back-to-back years. In back-to-back years. I think it was 90, 97, and 98. Because the Bulls had 2-3.
Hey Marcus, do me a favor. Yeah. Go do some research and tell me how many years in a row John Stockton averaged 11 assists for an entire season on average. Do you know how many point guards have ever averaged 11 assists for a single season? Let alone multiple seasons.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. That Utah Jazz team. Now, you know that pick and roll that they used to run, Hornacek and Stockton. John
Stockton could have won some all defensives too.
You know, and you look at players. You know, some really good players recently. Steve Nash. He was MVP, you know, and then you look. Didn't Cooper Flag just go number 1 overall? Didn't Cooper Flag just go number 1? So look,
but I don't. But Marcus,
I mean, I look.
So let's again, context matters. Let's disseminate that. Let's disseminate some information while we do this. Since we talking basketball, you know I love basketball. The reason why Stephen A. I will break it down for you. It's simple. The reason why Stephen A. says that is for a couple reasons. Number one, right? Don't do that. Number one, because we all remember the movie White Man Can't Jump. You remember that? Okay, that's number one. I don't have to explain that. If you ever seen White Man Can't Jump, I don't have to explain that. That's number one. Two, the attitude. You ever watch NWA? You ever watch the movie NWA? That's number two. If you watched the movie, you understand. That's number two. Right. You understand. That's number two. And number three is solely for the fact that speed, the athletic prowess. That's why he says that. Because if you take those things, you mix it in a bowl, and you put it in an environment that is predominantly 80% of Black players, and we know that those players have those gifts more than other cultures, then you would say that the probability of a trio of white people winning a championship would be slim to none because of that. Totally. Is he wrong? No. Is he stupid for saying that? Yes, because what is the reason for saying that? And again, if we go by the root reason, I'm telling you, I'm not stupid. I'm not about to let Stephen A. sit up here and play me dumb. Stephen A., you know majority of your basketball following is Black. Stop this, sir. We know what you just did. That was a save the face comment. Yada yada yada. That was one of those. You know how Martin Luther King stood up for social justice, social equality, yada yada yada. that was one of those fake ass moves by Stephen A. Smith making that comment. That's what that really was in retrospect. Ain't nobody stupid. Stephen A., shut your silly ass up. Shut your silly ass up and continue to be the person who you are, because nobody is buying your buffoonery. That's why I agreed with you in the beginning when I say he does not speak for me, you, or any black sports journalist, because he's cheap. That shit to me that he said was cheap as hell. It was cheap. It was flunky. It was knockoff. It's like going to the Goodwill trying to get a Gucci suit. You ain't slick. You ain't slick, fool. Stop it, Stephen A. And listen, and to be honest with you, there's also a reason, Marcus the Alphabets, why certain platforms as such won't let certain people on there. That's why I told you, and I'm gonna say this, I'll say it again. That's why certain people who on there, you can tell that they obviously had to do something to get on there, because you're not just getting on there and you're this. Especially when you have no sports acumen whatsoever. What credentials do Cameron have? Let's go there. I'll go there.
Well,
Sports.
the thing about it, it's a little bit different. Well, it's a little different because
is it?
Back in the day, back in the day, you had the sports networks. Okay, you had ESPN, Fox Sports 1, and all of this. Okay, nowadays it's changed. It's changed probably in the past like 5 to 10 years. Now everybody's breaking off, and it's podcasting. It's podcasting where you don't have to. Shannon Sharp does better on Nightcap than what he was doing on ESPN. They just like it because of the security with it, because you're working for a multi-billion-dollar company. But when you have a podcast, any fool can do. Look, Country Wayne does skits all day. Okay, comedy skits all day. Okay, but that's where he got his start. That's where he got his start at. But he ain't like Cat Williams. He ain't Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? So the camera phone and the internet has made it where people can do internet stuff, and anybody can have a platform doing some stuff like that. So you get these guys. It's like, Cameron, you're a rapper, and you're doing a show with Mace, who's a rapper and a pastor. You know what I'm saying? And they're talking sports. So a lot of these players now that don't get the jobs with ESPN and Fox and FS1, because there's only so many spots. So what do they resort to when they do? Jalen Rose was on ESPN. He got, they're cutting down all of these guys. And what do they do?
Would you say that some of those folks that you see cutting down is because they not go along to get along, folks?
No, I just think it's so expensive. And when you look at these shows, to produce these shows on these big networks costs a lot of money. And the sports debate format per se has kind of died off a little bit. I'm not going to sit up here. And here's the other thing too. Most people nowadays don't sit down in the morning where these morning sports shows is. Do you sit down and watch? First Take used to be 3 hours long. It used to be 3 hours long. They did 3 hours. Most people nowadays, these kids, what do kids do all day? And what do we do with these shows? We do this show for a couple of hours. But you know where most of our views come from? Reels. Because people's attention span nowadays is not like what it used to be. People don't even really, to be perfectly honest, most people don't watch TV like to sit down in front of their TV. What do most people do? They watch shows on their phone. They watch videos in their TikTok videos and Snapchat and all of that stuff. They watch the little three. Yeah. They watch the little,
You can put cable on your phone now, though. You put cable on your phone.
But the cable model is outdated.
Yeah.
With smart TVs now, you don't have to. I just did a piece a few months ago. You got to have like nearly 10 things to watch the entire 10 apps to watch the entire NFL season. You got to have Amazon, you got to have ESPN Plus, you got to have Netflix. That's what people do now. So the whole cable model is somewhat outdated. So these major sports network, ESPN, Fox Sports 1, and all of these other joints, they're not doing. How many shows did Fox Sports 1 lose? Remember Joy Taylor had a show, and then you had Undisputed's off the air. First Things First, and all these other shows and stuff like that. It's just the market is dwindling, and what people are doing now for their independence is they're podcasting. And it's a whole lot easier to sit at home in your little homemade studio and do a show and just talk on there than to go to Bristol to go to Bristol and have to set it up and have to look. Molly Karam used to have to get her makeup done every day and get her hair done every day. Like that's expensive, to do all of that, to run a show, a 2-3 hour long show. Every day she's got to have on a new outfit. They got to get the sponsors for the clothes. They got to get a hairstylist. They got to get a makeup artist for the men and the women, because the guys wear makeup on the shows too. It's a whole lot cheaper. It's the truth. The guys wear makeup too. So what's cheaper? Okay, we're going to cut this down and cut our spending, and maybe get like 3 or 4 people. That Stephen A was one of the last ones. Now, I do agree with you to an extent. The go along type person. He's that kind of person. Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir, boss. That's what you want me to say. I'll be saying it. That he is that type of person. So I do agree with you on that. But the overall writing factor is money. ESPN had some major layoffs, and people who were with the company for a long, long time. Rest in peace to my guy Stuart Scott. You think Stuart Scott would still be on the air right now if he were still alive? With how he was, Stuart Scott, booyah. You know what I'm saying?
Scott is a one of one, sir.
That's what I'm saying. But he was a very outspoken type person. You think he'd still be on the air now? He's been gone for like 10 years or so, more than 10 years. I don't know if he's still. I don't know if he would still be on the. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Stephen A. Smith don't speak for me. Bottom line, that's the put that to bed. Stephen A. Smith don't speak for me.
I agree. We in agreement. Both of us in agreement with that. By the way, shout out to everybody that's tuned in to World Class Wednesdays. You already know Andre the Torch Robinson, the Fire Starter, and the Alpha. Marcus the Alphabets is in the building right here with us. You already know what we doing. Talking about the most controversial topics today. A little more controversial than usual, but guess what? We stump on these things all the time. All right, we talk about this all the time. Don't be offended and don't be alarmed or afraid. All right. Again, hopefully we make some reels out of this. You guys can watch the reels too if you ain't got time to watch the show, like Marcus was mentioning. Hey, do what it do. We appreciate the opportunity every single time. Marcus, what? Anything else we want to talk about, or are we good? Because I'm like, man.
That's the main two things that I wanted to. I don't feel like talking about Brandon Ayuk, and we'll talk about the NBA stuff because that's a whole nother show. But I think we could stop there. I think we could stop there. We appreciate everybody who comes through. As it gets a little bit closer, I'll start doing some more coffee talks. I haven't done a coffee talk in nearly 2 weeks with the holidays and stuff like that. And then really, there's just not really anything going on with the NFL right now. Free agency and stuff like that. It's all passed, and we're right. All of the players are on break now for another couple of weeks, but we'll start tuning it up in the next couple of weeks, pumping it out. We'll do our division by division breakdown like we do going to season 7. Seasons popping up on season 7, and we're about to get it popping, man. We're about to get it popping, so very excited about that.
Six region, 2 things. 1, Sunday nights, karaoke, summertime vibes. Y'all already know what it is. Getting y'all set for the week, for y'all work week. Come on down, sing your hearts out. Bring a friend, a +1, all that good stuff. It's a good time. Just get some stress off you. That's why we do these shows too. Get some stress off. Yeah. So that's the first thing. That's number 1. And then number 2, if you're in the 716 region again, you already know every Friday, Saturday night where I'm at. Man, Marcus, I swear, this is a sports show, so I won't even bring it up. I'll have to bring it up one day on your show or something, or just bring it up to you in confidence. But make sure you pay attention to what's going on and the things that people are doing. That's all I could say. Just pay attention. Pay attention. Look deeper. Research. Shout out to my guy DJ, by the way, who came on the show the other day. We were talking basketball. Real good dude, man. All right. What's the saying, Marcus? Disagreeing is not disrespect.
Disagree is not disrespect.
All right. I made a good friend off of just disagreeing. Okay. Men know how to do that. Real men know how to do that. All right. Go ahead and say it, Marcus. I'm just waiting for you.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate everybody that come through. It's always fun to chop it up with my guy, The Torch. We'll be back next week. Same. We'll let y'all know when we're able to do shows a little bit earlier. We try to with our conflicting schedules and whatnot. So when we're able to get together and sit down and have a little bit of free time, we try to do a show. It'll be up on Rise Up and Alphabet's football show. And we'll get some reels out to y'all. Shout out to my guy Dwayne Woodley, the work he does. We appreciate everything he does, chopping up stuff and editing stuff. So we'll be back next week on Wednesday, World Class Wednesday, and y'all have a good one. All right. See you.
Happy birthday, sis. Love you, Joy.